from preseason workouts through a long and challenging regular season, these teams continue to refine, mold, and forge into the sharpest of edges. Each day, week after week, forged in the fire. In the SEC, two teams have proven themselves to be the sharpest. Packed with power and skill, the Florida Gators and the LSU Tigers have burned the hottest and cooled into the hardest of steel. Tonight, we stoke the flames to crown an SEC regular season champion, forged from the fire.
Welcome to the Pete Maravich Assembly Center on the campus of Louisiana State University in Baton Rouge for today's showdown between the top two programs in the SEC this season as the LSU Tigers welcome the Florida Gators. We've been waiting for this matchup all season long, and it's especially exciting because for the first time we'll crown regular season SEC champions. As you can see, Florida is undefeated, LSU undefeated, Florida has one loss. If LSU can run the table, they will win the regular season SEC championship outright. If Florida can get a win here today, they will share that coveted trophy with the LSU Tigers. Hi everybody, I'm Bart Connor along with Kathy Johnson-Clark. This is a perfect setting. Today we're going to have a packed PMAC for this incredible competition between these two very explosive and deserving teams.
Oh my gosh, it's a great rivalry. And as always in college gymnastics, it's all about the team. Every single athlete on both teams, they do their best gymnastics for each other and for the team. That said, I can guarantee there is an individual competitive spirit there that each one will want to bring their best gymnastics here. What I'm going to look for, because we're getting close to postseason, which one pays the closest attention to detail, because those details are going to matter more and more as the season progresses.
And all season long, these meets come down to just tenths of a point separating these top teams. We expect an incredible contest today. All right, LSU as the host team will open up on the vault. And you can see their lineup. Sarah Finnegan is the leadoff performer. And the visiting Florida Gators will be on the bars in this first of four rotations. Okay, here we go, folks. This is the one we've been looking for all season long. And boy, you can tell, so has the crowd here in Baton Rouge. Dee Dee Bro in her 40th season has built a following here that is magnificent, and they have a deserving team. There she is, the dean of the coaches in all of the SEC in all sports, and she is shining bright tonight as they have a chance to run the table in the SEC and earn the title as the first regular season SEC champions in conference history. Sarah Finnegan will lead them off on an event where they are spectacular.
And she can start them off strong with a very pretty Yurchenko full, laid out beautifully. What is the best part of that vault is her form. She is so technically perfect in terms of her form. Straight legs, pointed toes. Let's see if she can maintain that laid out position throughout. She finesses the landing to try to get that chest up and not get a deduction for the landing. Well done.
Okay, and for Florida, you see they open up on the bars. Alicia Boren will be the leadoff performer there. Sophomore from Franklin Lakes, New Jersey.
Alicia is a very consistent performer for this leadoff spot, and she does a big release move right there. Shows off the amplitude the judges are looking for. Her transition to Loba, right to handstand. This routine is so important in terms of getting them off to a strong start. Looks short on that final handstand, but the dismount double layout nails it into the mat. That's a nice start. The only thing might have been that final handstand might have been a tad short. Watch the height. The judges are looking for the hip height above the bar. Nicely done, a foot and a half above that bar, and her toes stay pointed. That's good to see. Double layout, beautiful form in the air, and just like a micro hop on the landing. I don't even know if the judges will see that.
Back to the vault, Maya Hambrick, the junior from Temple, Georgia. Season high for Sarah Finnegan, 9.875.
She's now performing a 1.5 twist, much more difficult, almost got the landing. That is one of her better ones. It's so challenging to add this vault to your repertoire because of the blind landing, and you're trying to stick. You don't want to come up short, though. She's just slightly short because she's thinking about the landing. They'll take a deduction for the half step backwards. 6-time
All-American. She is a real key player for the LSU Tigers today if they're going to hold off 3-time national champions, University of Florida. Megan Chan, the freshman from Watertown, Ontario, now gets the call on bars. Both teams have been morphing their lineups here late in the season, Kathy.
Megan is a nice addition to this bar lineup. Very clean performance. Ooh, almost overdid that one handstand. And just a little bit of a hesitation as she was standing on the bar. Those are tiny little deductions, just breaking the rhythm. Oh!
Oh my goodness.
She's okay. She slung it way out, completely missed the release point. I bet she slipped off, but fortunately got it all the way around.
See, Owen Field, the assistant coach, also took a dive out there to try to keep her.
Watch her hands just pull off.
And it looked like her foot hit the low bar as she was transitioning between the two bars.
And you can see they're just pulled off way too soon. She was still on the bottom part of her swing. She was able to get the rotation in to be safe, however. Of course, it's a big deduction.
Wow, scary fall for Megan Chant. Sydney Ewing now for LSU. Maya Hambrick had a 9.875 after Sarah Finnegan's 9.875.
Like Hambrick, she'll be doing a 1.5 twist. This is a 10-0 valued vault. She does it very, very well. Wow, what a landing. Bob Moore, the coach of the Tiger vaulting squad, is pumped up with that one. The only thing she has here is a little bit of form in the air right as she finishes the twist, but I'm telling you, that was cleaner than usual. She managed to keep her legs straighter, longer. Nice job, just a half step back with that 1 foot.
Okay, nice start on the vault for the LSU Tigers. They're ranked #1 in the country on that event. Rachel Gowie now, the freshman up for Florida. See what they can do after the fall.
This
Megan Chan.
A clutch routine. She must get them back on track.
And had only an 8.9 after that fall. Luckily, she's okay.
Rachel does such beautiful execution throughout this routine. Tag short on the last handstand. Watch the speed she gets on her giant. Just nails that double layout into the mat. If they can hit the rest of their routines, they can erase the one fall that they have. Well, you could really see her eyeball that landing.
All right, let's go down to Laura Rutledge, the third member of our broadcast team.
Bart, we're about to see Ruby Harold for LSU on vault. She's a little nervous as a last-minute replacement here for LSU in this lineup. And Dee Dee Broge is telling her, be aggressive. I see those nerves. I don't want to see that. Go after it. You can get so high and just trust yourself.
Two-time Olympian from Great Britain in because Lexi Priestman tweaked her knee in warm-ups.
Doing a 1.5. And got it! Wow!
Wow! How about that? A last-minute replacement, and she drills it.
And here's why she stuck that vault, because she wasn't thinking about the landing. She was going big. She had to go hard, be aggressive. She launched it 5 feet up in the air at the hips. Slight knee bend, but check this landing out on the 6-foot line right there. Pretty good dismount. But most important, she didn't get ahead of herself. She launched it and then just dropped it in.
And Dee Dee Bro loves it. She's coming off of a 9.925 from Sydney Ewing. Back to the bars now. Kennedy Baker, the junior from Texas. Rachel Gowie had a 9.85 before her. Remember, 6 athletes compete. We count just the best 5 scores towards the team total. So they can replace that 8.9 from Megan Chan if everybody else hits.
This is the only event we're going to see Kennedy in, but she made the best of it. Just uncanny ability to find that landing, that blind landing on the double front. She accidentally stepped off a curb, turned her ankle a little, so she's not going to do the other events. So she came up big for them on the uneven bars.
And Talk about big. LSU is rocking the vault after Ewing's 9.925. Ruby Harold stepped in for Lexi Priestman and delivered a 9.925, and two of the finest vaulters in their lineup are coming up, including this young lady, Kennedy Edney. She can fly.
She can absolutely blast this thing off the table. Oh, was a little bit bent-armed on, but she pulled it out. The judges really want to see those straight arms, and that also helps your ability to block. Let's see if what I saw in real time. Yeah, a little bit bent, just a little low on that pre-flight, but 5.5 feet at the hips and good distance. Wow. 7 feet out. Nice distance there.
Like she went coast to coast like her famous dad. Tyus Edney played at UCLA, made some epic plays as a college basketball player as well as a member of several NBA teams. Back to the bars now. Amelia Hundley, and she's coming off Kennedy Baker's 9.9, a career high.
And Bart, that was her big combination. Now she adds this right back up to the bar with the half twist.
Beautiful.
This is one of her better bar routines. Smooth and easy, half in, half out. A little micro hop at the end, but a solid routine.
Freshman from Hamilton, Ontario. 9th at the Olympic trials in 2016 in the all-around.
Almost got the perfect stick right there. Just a little slide back of the feet. Hard to see in real time, though.
And Ashley Nat, one of the most spectacular vaulters in the country, is going to do her Yurchenko double full. We have seen her taste perfection the 7 times she has scored 10s, and 3 of them on the vault. The senior from Lake Mary, Florida.
Watch how fast she cranks this double twist, and she has cleaned up her form and execution from last year. Boy, she blasted that. That's about the best I have ever seen her do that vault.
What a block off the table.
She has been able to increase her distance a little bit this year from the table, really trying hard to squeeze those legs together, keep them straight. They only separate just a tiny bit, but perfect.
Look at her digging those toenails into the mat.
I have to just shout out to her because she has worked so hard on cleaning this vault up. And came up with a big
Bro
one.
is rowing the boat. Oh my goodness, what an effort. And here is Alex. Oh no.
She just went over on her first cast. Okay, they're a little bit rattled over here.
Unbelievable.
She came back strong, amazingly.
Amelia Hundley had a 9.875, but remember, they had an 8.9 for Megan Chance, so this is the second mistake, so they will have to count a low score in this event.
And I have to say, she made the mistake going big. She was trying to nail that handstand. I've never seen her miss the landing on that bar dismount.
And this place has erupted because on the other side of the arena, while McMurtry struggled, Ashley Nat's score came in. It's a 10. There's a sold-out crowd in PMAC. Her 8th perfect 10 in her career, and what a day to come up with it. 49.625 for LSU, season high on the vault in the first rotation. Of course, it was capped off by the perfect 10 vault from Ashley Nat. Now, the vault is one of the most physically demanding and technically challenged events in all of women's gymnastics. Sports science analyzes the physics behind these dynamic vaults.
To execute a vault after hitting a peak speed of about 16 miles per hour, a gymnast plants her hands on the vault table for just 0.15 of a second. That's less than half the time it takes Steph Curry to get off a 3. This split-second push allows her to apply a torque or rotational force, which causes her body to twist around its vertical axis. Once airborne, a gymnast can adjust her angular velocity by manipulating what's called her moment of inertia, which is how her mass is distributed relative to a rotational axis. In plain English, this means that wrapping her arms around her torso can nearly double the speed of her twist, while extending them can slow her rotation by more than 50%. Because this technique is so effective, if she needs to slow down to ensure a safe landing, she can wait until the final 250 milliseconds of her flight to open up, or when her body is just about 40 inches above the floor.
Oh my gosh, when you think of the forces that are on a gymnast's body, I know you and I are sitting here, our bodies are aching just from watching that.
Incredible. The second 10 of the season for Ashley Nat. And when we come back, Alex McMurtry from Florida will do her double twisting Yurchenko. Some experts feel hers is even better. Will we see another one tonight?
Head into rotation 2, and we saw Alex McMurtry struggle a little bit on bars in rotation 1. She had told me coming into this meet her goal was to put together a great all-around score and hit on all routines, but she did say when she doesn't hit on every routine, it makes her have this razor-sharp focus in everything else. When she got a perfect 10 on floor recently, she had missed on bars. So it's almost like she dials it in even more than she normally would when she does miss early. We'll see if that factors in tonight, Bart.
Thank you, Laura. Yes, a little added drama. We set this up as a matchup between the two hottest teams, and Florida unexpectedly struggled on the first event on the uneven bars. They have dug a significant hole, basically 7/10 of a point as we get set for the second rotations. Take a look at the vault lineup. Rachel Gowie will get the leadoff spot there. Alex McMurtry will be their anchor performer. We'll see if she can recover after that 9.45 on the bars.
And part of the issue for Alex, she was going for broke on uneven bars. She wanted to nail everything perfectly. Remember, she has scored a 10 there, so she was trying to be right on top of that bar. Just went slightly over, had to cover, and that throws you off. She managed to get back into the routine pretty darn well, though.
It's a packed house here at the PMAC. It's been an incredible season, and we have enjoyed. We started our season here early in the year, and we've watched LSU progress. They have, to me, been the most predictable, consistent team in terms of just cranking it out week by week. You saw them in their practice meet yesterday, Kathy.
Absolutely.
You're really impressed by the systemic way they approach their progress.
I was extremely impressed, and we're seeing it now on the competitive floor. It's just translated over.
Rachel Gowie opens it up for Florida on the ball.
She opens with a Yurchenko full. Very nice job for her. That vault has progressively gotten better throughout the season for her.
Gowie, the freshman from Urbandale, Iowa.
She just maintains a little bit of a pike position right at the end, but the rest is pretty good.
To the bars. You see the lineup here for LSU. Shea Zamardi, the senior from Vancouver, British Columbia, gets the leadoff spot. We typically see here on bars and floor for LSU.
And she is just a terrific leadoff routine for them. Slight little leg separation on both those skills, but the judges are sitting on the side. They may or may not even be able to see that. Very clean, nice toe point, good rhythm throughout this routine. Let's see if she can get the landing. It's a hard one. Arabian double front. She takes a step. So just tiny little deductions in that routine.
Associate head coach Jay Clark, who is responsible for their bar work. He has got them to number 3 in the nation on this event.
The culture he created for them, for all their events, but particularly on the uneven bars, is the key to their success. So consistent in their training, the way they warm up, the way they prepare, and it's just like clockwork.
Clark, formerly of the University of Georgia, now making a real difference here at LSU.
This is a cool vault. It's a Sukahara vault with a full twist. It's going to look different to the judges. They're going to take a big deduction for that hop back. Well, it's a jump back, actually, so they will take a big one there. But look at that traditional entry vault, half on, and that's at least a 3-point problem. deduction on that landing.
Saw Megan Chant struggle a bit in the first rotation, only an 8-9 on bars, so a good effort there, but today they're going to have to be better than good if they're going to challenge this hot LSU team. Here is Maya Hambrick.
And LSU has really begun. Whoa, whoa, whoa. She did exactly what Alex McMurtry
same
did.
thing. Overcooked
Exact
the
same
handstand.
thing. It happens. I told you they are going to try to do their most spectacular routines.
Shaza Marty had a 9.85 in the leadoff spot.
She was almost able to save that, but not quite. Let's see if she can get the dismount and not give away a 10th here. You have to fight to the very end, and she does just that. And I will tell you, a coach would much rather see a mistake made because of that. She was going big and trying to hit that thing right up on top. Just had her shoulders a little too far out in front on the cast, and a little balance break on the landing.
A rare miscue for the LSU Tigers on the uneven bars. Junior Maya Hambrick from Temple, Georgia. Amelia Hundley now for Florida. Megan Chant before her a 9.85. So their two scores are 9.825 and 9.75.
Another Yurchenko full. Pretty good on the landing. Just a quick step back into the salute. We kind of call that a salute landing. You can kind of finesse it and maybe get away with it being called a stick. It was a little quick. We'll see what the judges do.
I don't think they're going to buy it, Kathy.
No. But you got to try. So
Freshman.
that vault is worth a 9.95. The vault before was a 10.0 start value, so we'll see what they do.
Ruby Harold, excited to see her in the lineup. Two-time Olympian from Great Britain. She competed just a half a year ago at the Olympics in Rio de Janeiro, 2016 game. She was also a member of the 2012 team.
And she is beginning to find her stride in college gymnastics. Her routine in the inter-squad looks so much better, much less labored. She's getting back into the swing of things, pun intended. Watch this combination here. It's a fun one. Shap half, right into her Zouk hold to handstand. The audience loves it. And I'm sure the judges appreciate it as well. She also adds a release move, a single bar release move as well. Nice difficulty spread throughout the routine from start to finish. Oh, darn. She stepped. They'll take a deduction on the landing, but the rest was pretty good. Love this transition from low to high, and then shoots through to the handstand. And almost got this baby landed, but not quite. They'll take a deduction for stepping forward.
Your Shaposhnikova half to an Erica Zuckhold. Both of those athletes have been inducted into the International Gymnastics Hall of Fame. It's good to see that they're using their namesake skills as we go back to vault. Alicia Boren. Amelia Hundley had a 9.85.
This one can fly. 1.5 almost went out of our frame. That's a big one. That's exactly what Florida needs. You need something like that that's just going to be a shot in the arm and turn around the momentum. This one could do it. Really good height. Really opened out her arms, tried to find that perfect landing. She didn't quite get the distance that some of the other vaults we've seen, but the rest was very, very nice.
Sophomore from New Jersey had an amazing freshman year. She's good for a 9.9 on pretty much everything. She's a former Junior Olympic national champion. Kennedy Edney now on the bars for LSU, the freshman from Chino, California.
Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but pay attention to the dismount that she does. It's done so beautifully. Starts out with her release move. This looks much better than it did in the inter-squad, much more swinging rather than muscled, so nice to see here. Watch this double layout. It is perfectly pencil straight. Bam.
Nice.
Almost got the stick. They're going to have to take a little there. But have you seen a double layout really maintain that pencil straight position? Very few do it like that. Nice angle here to see the position. And of course, the judges will see that adjustment of the feet on the landing.
The one loss that LSU had this year was to Oklahoma a few weeks ago, and Jay Clark and Dee Bro said they lost to Oklahoma based on landing, so they'll need to stick those if they're going to contend for the national championship this year. Here's a big vault from junior Rachel Slocum.
It's a fun one. Front pike, half. Oh, wow. She was thinking too much of the landing. You could tell while she was in the air. She didn't quite blast it as big as she normally does because this baby can fly. So she had to land with her chest down. They are definitely going to take off for that chest down, but they are going to love the height. I've seen her go even higher than that, about 4.5 feet up, opens out over 9 feet distance.
Yikes.
That is fantastic, but see how her chest is down? That'll be the deduction. Sarah Finnegan on bars has such beautiful form. Watch her toe point. She just maintains it from the start of the routine all the way to the end, even on the most difficult elements and transitions.
Such a polished young gymnast, sophomore from Lee's Summit, Missouri.
She also does a double layout.
Oh, the first stick of the meet on bars for LSU.
That is a legit stick. Let's see if she gets on right on top of the bar.
Boom.
A little bit over actually with the feet, just a slight arch there. But this was nice. Little leg separation on the bottom of the swing, but boy, you cannot land better than that.
They got a stick finally on the bars. Here is the big double full. Alex McMurtry. We've already seen her closest rival, Ashley Nat, score a 10.
Perfect technique, especially from the round up through to the table. Bam!
Oh!
That was fabulous.
Wow.
What I love about this vault is the technique is flawless. She gets those arms back faster than anybody. Perfect block off the table.
Oh my goodness.
And a beautiful landing. Look at that, way out. I've even seen her land farther out than that. I think I've even seen her go higher, but
watch the landing. It looks like she actually wants to move her feet, but she can't.
Nope.
They're stuck to the mat.
She put glue on her toes. Yay, good for her.
The last bars now, Lexi Priestman for LSU. And a 10 came in from Alex McMurtry. Who could have predicted?
Oh, dueling
both
doubles
Ashley
and tons
Nat
of
and
10s.
Alex McMurtry get 10s. Oh, that's epic.
Lexi is finishing up on bars, handling. Oh, wow, nice landing for Lexi. Very nice back-to-back release moves in this routine.
We mentioned earlier they pulled her out of the vault lineup. She tweaked her knee a bit in the warm-ups.
But came up big here, just a slight slide back on the landing. Great job for Lexi.
And Finnegan before her had a 9.925, which is a season high. So let's go down to Laura Rutledge. She's with Coach Jenny Rowland.
All right, thank you, Bart. And Coach, what can you say about the technique and finesse of Alex McMurtry's vault, another 10?
It's perfection. That's all I can say. Really, very dynamic, very clean in the air, and there's really nothing you can take on that vault.
How can a vault like that and a score like that propel you forward in this meet that will be tightly contested?
I really think more than anything, it's great for her confidence. It's great for the team's morale, and it's just we're looking forward to 2 more exciting events.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, ladies. LSU has a lead of 0.75 over Florida as we get ready to move on to the next rotation. We had 2 perfect 10s on the vault from these 2 deserving young ladies. Let's take a look at a comparison between these 2 incredible skills.
Ashley Nat just performed the best double I've ever seen her do. Let's check out the form in the air. Much tighter than I've ever seen her be in the air. And just a fabulous landing. Alex McMurtry did her typical, just perfect technique and form. Look how tightly her legs are squeezed until the very end. They slightly cross, but look, another good landing. Let's check out height and distance. Here is Ashley Nat's hip hat, 5.5, almost up to that 6-foot level. And Alex McMurtry, just a little bit higher, a little tighter, but 5-foot landing for Ashley Nat. And Alex McMurtry goes out just a little bit past the 6-foot line, a little more distance.
Welcome back to Baton Rouge. LSU has a lead of 3/4 of a point over the visiting Florida Gators, and there is Alex McMurtry. She performed one of the finest triple twisting backflips, not only in the NCAA, but in the entire world. Earlier, she talked with us about how she does this incredible skill.
When I roll over and stand up, the first thing I think about is just taking a big breath and getting myself set for that pass. Running extremely fast and being tight on the punch. I do not spot anything. I just land on my feet, and that's when I figure out that I've landed a good triple.
It's really amazing seeing her do that skill. She does the perfect block to set it up and get incredible height. Does the first twist, that first full on the way up, and then pops another 2 twists at the very height of the layout position. It's gorgeous.
It's this rotation. LSU will be on the beam and Florida on the floor. Gymnastics judges have a lot of calculating to do on the fly during these meets to come up with an accurate score. Plus, each event has 5 special requirements specific to that apparatus. Now, Kathy, let's highlight some of those special requirements for the balance beam in this next rotation.
Now, most of the gymnasts, they get these special requirements done pretty easily, but the judges have to tabulate them as they go while they are checking for their connection requirements as well, the composition requirements, the bonus. It's a lot of mental gymnastics.
That's why I prefer being over here in the TV booth. I wouldn't want to be a judge. There's a lot of calculating going on and a lot of scrutiny for these judges who are trying to make sure that not only do they come up with the right score, but they rank the gymnast properly, which to me is one of the most important keys to getting the score right. If they're all a little bit high, fine, as long as the best gymnast gets the best score. If they're all a little bit low, that's fine too, but rank the athletes properly. Aaron McAdag, the junior from Redwood City, California, will lead off LSU on beam. This is an event where they are ranked 2nd in the country. Oklahoma is the leader.
And Aaron does one of the best jobs of performing on the balance beam. It's truly a beautiful experience, actually. Really extends everything, very expressive. There's her full turn. Then she sets up just gorgeous leap combination. Switch leg leap into the switch half, more difficult into a beat jump, so there's 3 elements there. Gets her dance series and hits that 180-degree split in both, actually. Nice front aerial into her straddle jump. Just more bonus points when she connects those 2. And compositionally, she spreads out the difficulty throughout the routine. Another thing the judges are looking for. Uses the full beam, goes high, goes low, puts her acro series right here at the end of the routine. Back handspring layout, step out, nails the landing. And all she has is the dismount, and hers is a C dismount, gainer full off the side, hits all those special requirements. Matches up to the compositional requirements as well and goes above and beyond with her difficulty and her performance.
We go to Florida now for Florida's effort on the floor. Grace McLaughlin will get the leadoff spot. Claire Boyce, for many years, was in that leadoff spot, but of course, Claire just recently retired. She had hip dysplasia and a surgery which has held her back, and finally, about a week and a half ago, she said to the team, I can't go any longer. There's just too much pain. So the team has rallied around the fact that she's not in the lineup, and Grace McLaughlin gets the call to lead off on Florida.
And each meet, Grace just performs this routine more and more. Very expressive with her eyes, the arm movement. Now she'll open with a front double, or her combination pass, front layout to a front full.
McLaughlin, the junior from Allen, Texas, was a member of the U.S. senior national team for a couple of years, 2011 and 2012. Competed in the Pan Am Games, where she earned a gold medal with the U.S. team.
does a Rudy in the middle pass. She's altered her passes and watering down just a little bit, perhaps because of the difficult travel schedule they had getting into this competition. She would have normally opened the routine with a front double twist. This will certainly meet the minimum requirements for bonus, and she's performing it really nice. Oh no!
Good
Very,
save.
very short. I see fatigue there. That was why they made the call to not open with the bigger pass. And again, it may just be the travel schedule was a little hard on them, and they were being safe. When you get this close to the end of season, no reason to risk injury. Played a little safe.
Maya Hambrick will be set to go after that 9.95 in a leadoff spot for Erin McAday. Let's go down to Laura.
Bart, Maya had dealt with some mental fatigue at a point in this season, and she said what finally turned it around for her is just realizing that this team only has one chance to do what they want to do, and that obviously factors into the regular season, but she said they've got much higher aspirations. She wants to be a big part and crucial part of that.
What a big 9.95 for Erin McAday. A couple of weeks ago, she fell off beam, and Didi Bro cornered her and said, hey, it's not world hunger. So it's really amazing. This team has been quite resilient even when they're challenged.
And Bart, as you were explaining that, she had just a slight, she was a little bit off, but she covered it so well. And it just shows you how sharp she is, how strong she is mentally. And not overreact, correct, because that can usually cause the biggest damage. She also
the impression the team is so well prepared. Even when they're a little bit off, they're not very far off.
That's why you prepare like that, because little things happen. You have to make those slight adjustments, particularly on this event. They were so solid in their preparation yesterday. They can handle anything, and that's what you need to do. And finishes with a double twist and a perfect landing. Very impressive.
He was third in the all-around at last year's NCAA championship, a surprise accomplishment, but what a deserving young athlete.
And you can't do this dismount really any better than that. Just a little shuffle, but that's in slow motion. The judges don't have that luxury of seeing a replay.
Rachel Gowie, the freshman from Urbandale, Iowa now, did her club training at Chow's Gymnastics in Iowa. That, of course, was the club where Gabby Douglas trained on her way to winning the all-around at the 2012 Olympics in London.
When these two routines go back-to-back, Grace McLaughlin, we just saw, and now Rachel, they do a very elegant, very epic type routine, big music, big arm motion. Pretty pike double back. Might be a little hitch on that step back into the lunge.
Coach Rowland was telling us earlier this week that she has really improved her confidence a little bit. They try to manage their bodies throughout to the end of the season, but they said they really needed to have her do a few more landings on hard surfaces for her training rather than landing in resi bits, which is normally easier on your ankles, but she needed the confidence from harder landings. Just shorter rotation.
Yeah. I'm just glad that when she stood up, I was happy to see she hadn't hurt the ankles on that landing. Hopefully has enough juice here for the final pass. 1.5 to front layout. A beautiful routine, but unfortunately that middle pass is a big error, big deduction. She looked like she was fine, just a little bit short of rotation. But when she opened tuck, she almost missed her hand grab. So the tuck was very, very open and could not pull it all the way around.
You know what I'm sensing for Florida? Not only the fatigue from yesterday's travel and this long season, week in and week out, they don't seem to quite have the room for error that we're seeing for LSU. And it's showing now. Maybe they need a couple of weeks off, as they will get before the SEC championships, and then another month before the NCAA championship. We'll be covering those events, but they do just look a little bit worn down, don't
And they will have to step up. Check out this acro series back handspring, layout to 2 feet. More difficult than the layout step out. Gets an extra 1/10 of a point.
Remember, Macadeg led them off with a 9.95 career high, and Maya Hambrick came back with a 9.9.
Sydney had the meet of her life last week on her 3 events. 9.9 or better on all 3. Just spectacular experience for her. I love this combination here. Standing back layout, step out right into a straddle jump quarter. And you can see the relaxation in their face, in their movement. They are very, very calm, very confident, and that is because of their preparation. From Priest, looked like she was a little on the end of that beam. Startled me a bit, but she handled it.
But that's a good example. Even when they're a little bit off, there's no disasters, are there?
I do like this pass. Let's see how she lines it up, keeps those shoulders and hip square and the core right over the center of the beam. Nice difficulty on this combination there. I thought she was tiny bit on the end, just a little off on that takeoff, because I've seen her nail that time and time and again.
Let's go down to Laura.
Bart, you guys have mentioned the travel snafus for Florida. They were supposed to get here yesterday at 4. They didn't get here until 11:30 p.m. because of a missed flight due to traffic. It was a very complicated day for them.
Rachel Slocum, the junior from North Carolina, transfer from Eastern Michigan. And she is the life of the party when there's a Florida team activity going on. You can see the energy she brings and personality she brings to her performances.
She brings a levity to practice and to the competition, and that's sometimes what you need to do. You can become a little bit hyper intense, hyper focused. It's a fine line between making it happen and letting it happen, and you have to find that balance.
Rachel Gowie had a 9.15, so that's the score they're going to hope to replace, obviously, for their team score. McLaughlin led them off with a 9.67.
On her legs and toes right there on the floor to really, those are the details that I'm talking about that really have to clean up as they go into postseason. Strong routine. I've even seen her train a double layout. I don't know if we'll see it during this season, but there are upgrades available at some point.
There really are sort of 3 distinct seasons. There's the preparation in the fall, there's this regular season dual meet series, and then there's all the post-season events. There's a lot of pressure, but the pressure is quite different. What we're seeing here is the end of the regular season, and it looks like it's starting to take a toll a little bit on Florida, and LSU is in fine form. Sydney Ewing got a 9.85, and Lauren Lee set to go, the junior from Plano, Texas.
She has done a tremendous job at playing her role on this team, and it's on this event. She's very valuable in the lineup. Look at the combination of difficulty.
She's also a transfer, had competed at Penn State, transferred out of conference, and so she didn't have to sit out a year.
She also combines the difficulty of the dance, that switch leg leap into the Dana layout. I do like that LSU really doesn't hold back in terms of their difficulty. They do what they're capable of, and they train hard to accomplish that. Layout full off the side. Well done.
Kathy, you watched LSU in the training session yesterday, and in fact, they're doing full routines the day before the meet, aren't they?
Absolutely. I love this. Three elements in a row. Aerial walkover, and it goes back the other direction to the back handspring layout. It's a nice routine to have in the middle of their lineup.
Were you surprised to see full-out routines yesterday, the day before the meet, at the end of this long and trying season?
No, I know that that's the way they prepare to be able to continue throughout the season. In fact, when they warmed up for floor today, they all did their final tumbling passes in their dance room on floor.
Rachel Slocum had a 9.8 for her. Amelia Hundley now, freshman from Hamilton, Ohio.
Whip back to a tuck double back, a little bit different.
Coach Rowland told us that this LSU floor is very springy. She said, we were thinking about, before the meet, we might give this young lady a chance to do her double layout for the first time because the gymnasts love this floor. It's very springy.
Absolutely.
But she chose not to do that.
Once they had the travel issues, I think they decided we need to be safe rather than sorry. They have their senior meet next weekend. Perhaps they'll throw it then. Very high energy routine.
Hundley was 9th in the 2016 U.S. Olympic trials, 7th on vault and 8th on bars. So even just a half a year ago, fully in the mix with the U.S. national team that went to the Olympics and dominated.
Solid landing on the final pike double back. So a solid routine for Florida there. So check this out. She does a whip back instead of the back handsprings. Her hands won't go down right here and then blocks right into a double back. Gives her a little bit more bonus for that, and she finishes, as many of the top gymnasts do, with a pike double and a smile.
And we go back to the beam now for LSU, Sarah Finnegan.
Well, this is as pretty as you will see on this event. She is so elegant, flexible. Now check this out. It's a triple wolf if she goes for the whole thing. 1, 2, oh no. You jinxed her, Bart, because earlier you said to me, that's too risky a move, and I told you, no, it's not. She hits it every time.
My bad. Sarah Finnegan.
Usually almost perfect Sarah Finnegan on this event, but she shows us that, you know, you're human and mistakes are made.
3-time All-American. She's coming after Lauren Lee's 9.85. So LSU has 4 excellent scores, 2 9.85s and 9.9, and Macadaig's 9.95 in the leadoff spot. So
aerial cartwheel into her dismount. Everything else was just picture perfect as always. She'll be bummed about that triple wolf, and I have to agree that she just got off. I've never really seen her get off there, but those things happen. It's a long season. She's done it perfectly many more times than she's had a mistake. You just got to erase it.
Let's go down to Laura.
For Alex McMurtry, competing in floor means she's got to keep her energy up throughout the meet. Her tradition is she always eats a Snickers bar before floor. She started doing that last year. It gives her just enough energy to get through this, guys.
Well, if I'd only known that I'd been eating Snickers, I'd been able to do a triple twist like that.
Yeah, this is literally one of the finest in the world. Here it goes, folks, right in the first tumbling pass. Watch her hang this thing up. Oh,
none better.
None better.
We could walk underneath it. I think I could be on your shoulders and you could walk underneath it.
I saw the judge in the background had a bright smile on her face, like, okay, that's good.
It's a treat. Now, the weird thing is, it's the dance that hurts her back the most, which you would never believe, but that's just the way it is.
We've documented that she can train very little on events like floor and vault because of the strain on her back, and yet somehow meet time, she's ready.
Watch how she floats. Oh, they're going to take a deduction, a little hop forward out of that middle tumbling pass. When she performed this routine in the last, getting their attention for that gator chomp. danced all out a little bit more. I think she's conserving a bit of energy here in this meet, but watch the height on a tuck double back, higher than most at the beginning of the routine. Just spectacular tumbling. There is no denying that.
Unbelievable. You know, they said to increase her endurance, they added some wind sprints at the end of her routine just to have the air to finish that big double. But even Coach Rowland said she could walk under this triple.
Absolutely. Oh my God, that's probably higher than I've ever seen her do it. That's crazy. I could watch this all day. Her technique from the round-up back handswing is so perfect. And the way she lifts her arms and shoulders as she's still going up to wrap the twist is just crazy good. Again, excellent technique to get her up that high off the floor.
Ashley Natt on the beam after Sarah Finnegan's 9.325.
Bugs is having a fantastic little check there, tiny check of balance out of the aerial walkover.
Mistake by Finnegan, the only hiccup so far for LSU. They started the meet on fire. The highest score in the nation on vault, 49.625. Hit 16 of 17 routines today.
Bugs has worked so hard on the details. I can really see the effort she has put into cleaning up every element, even the steps, the leaps, the preparations going into these skills. Switch side.
Thought it was interesting. Dee Bro said the other day she needs to settle down a little bit on beam. Sometimes it's beautiful, but sometimes she just jumps out of her skin.
But she's done a masterful job of controlling that now. Really held on beautifully to the back handspring layout, step out. Now watch this double twist dismount. She does it. It'll look just like her vault. The same type of technique in the air. Tight twist, fast.
Oh, no.
Opens out and finds the landing. That was so beautiful and so close to picture perfect. Just that one little arm gesture on her aerial walkout. Look at this. There's a switch leap into the straddle quarter, hits that 180 and beyond, and floats this back handswing layout step out. Just went for an absolute picture perfect landing and completed it with an excellent dismount. Good for her.
Final performer now for Florida on the floor, Alicia Boren. Alex McMurtry at a 9.875.
Now prepare to be thrilled again. She gets some super height on her tumbling. This is a full twisting double back and she launches it. And it's clean as can be. And this is somebody who has just so, I don't even want to say she was in a shell, she wasn't. She has just really launched her personality outward and shares it with people in this routine.
Florida has yet to break through to the 9.9s on floor. Their highest score is McMurtry's 9.875. Scores in for Ashley Natt on the beam, 9.925 after the Sarah Finnegan 9.325. So an impressive team score for LSU on beam in the third rotation.
It's a very good routine going right here. Let's see if she can control the final landing. Tuck double back.
Okay.
Really nice job. I know that they're a tiny bit flat. They've had some mistakes in this meet. That definitely takes the wind out of your sails. So to come back and try to do your big tumbling passes, as Alicia has just done, fought hard to really perfect that landing, landed a little staggered and stepped back. I'd say a little far into that lunge.
Let's go down to Laura Rutledge.
All right, thank you, Bart. And Coach, how do you think the preparation that you put in the gym helps you with the concentration that you see from these girls on beam?
I think that the consistency that we have a consistent message. Every coach, we meet, we talk about what we're going to do, we meet with the kids, and they have bought in. and they're all heart. They believe what we're telling them, and they're living the dream. They love LSU. They're living the dream.
You've been emphasizing details and those little adjustments at this time in the season. How do you want that to apply to this floor rotation?
Well, I want to see some excitement. I don't want them to try to give me a whole lot of control. I want them out there with reckless abandon, just having a good time, and it'll happen.
All right, thank you, Dee Dee.
Go Tigers.
Bart.
One more event to go, and that means McKenna Kelly will be on the floor. When we come back, she'll talk about a relationship with her mom, Mary Lou Retton.
Tonight.
I try and make every competition I can. And I tell her every season, McKenna, okay, I'm really gonna do it this season. I'm gonna sit down like most of the other parents and just clap when you go and be quiet and be all civilized and all, and I just can't help myself. I love when she screams. Her voice is so distinct and I can always hear it in the crowd. But she's a hollerer for sure. I love watching her on YouTube, and like I'll call her in my room and be like, Mom, come look at this, and she's like, oh, stop it. She hates watching herself. It's kind of funny because I do some of the same skills she did. You can see the similarities between us. Watching her is incredible. She loves to be different. She loves to be unique and stand out, and I feel like that's something I've inherited from her.
What a special mother-daughter bond between these two. And one of the best things about Mary Lou Retton is that the whole LSU team feels like she's one of their moms. They love how she cheers them on as well. So she's certainly animated for McKenna's routines, but she also brings that same intensity when cheering on the rest of this team, and they have a great time together. There was recently a pajama party that Mary Lou participated in. Some great photos to come out of that, and we will see McKenna on the floor when we come back in this fourth and final rotation. I bet we'll see Mary Lou as well.
I know, you think I'm going to come over here and tell you something profound? I'm not. I'm going to tell you how good you look. You're in this event because you have earned it, right? You have earned it the hard way. So you get up there and you just work it. I want loud hands, big show-off hands, one skill at a time. Just grind right through it. Bam, bam, bam.
Let's see. Hey, ready for the next one. It's all about us right now. Remember, get out there, have fun. 2 more events.
How about that? Well, it doesn't hurt when you get a 10.
Yeah, you got to stop your pep talk for a 10. Come on.
There is Jenny Rowland and Dee Dee Bro. Boy, these two dramatically different coaches. Jenny in her second year as the head of the program at Florida, and Dee Dee in her 40th year at LSU. They're both dramatically different, but they're both really successful in completely different ways, aren't they?
They are, and I love them both. They are different, but Dee Dee's passion just oozes out of every cell of her being, and what she tells her athletes, they buy in and believe in themselves and just fight like tigers.
LSU goes to the floor in the final rotation. Florida will be on the beam. Amelia Hundley, first to go of their 6 athletes there. Florida is trailing LSU by 1.1, so that is a lead in college gymnastics in the 4th rotation. When you're coming up on beam, that's essentially insurmountable.
But they're not focused on that, Bart. And shout out to Jenny Rowland, because she has done such a phenomenal job stepping into such a successful program with not just the expertise she brings to coaching, but the warmth and love and support for these athletes as they make the transition into college from elite gymnastics oftentimes, but handling the long season and even difficulties like this one with the travel yesterday. So you have to deal with all the obstacles and still be able to get up and perform. Amelia is getting them off to a strong start, and this is a big test for them. They have to be able to handle beam under enormous pressure as they get into postseason, and this is the start to that. Fought for that landing. Well done.
And speaking of postseason, let's take a look at what's next for the SEC, brought to you by Regions. SEC Gymnastics Championship will be held March the 18th in Jacksonville, Florida. The first session will be live on ESPNU at 2 Eastern. with the second session live at 6 Eastern on the SEC ESPN network. You see the projected teams in those two rotations. They essentially split the teams based on their standings in the regular season. So that final session will feature LSU and Florida, Alabama and Georgia, the four most dominant teams in the SEC this year.
And the floor announcer just got this crowd excited for these floor routines. They love their LSU Tigers on this event.
Sydney Ewing, the senior from Lafayette, Louisiana, four-time All-American.
Opens with a front double twist. That's as well as she's done that. Beautiful control, really floated those two elements back to back nicely. They train so hard to be in the kind of condition it takes to be able to perform these routines all out. And they're high energy routines, packed choreography.
Of course, last year they opened their Taj Mahal of training centers, a $12 million center here near the PMAC, where it's one of the finest gymnastics training facilities in the world.
And it looks like they've used every inch of it to power these athletes.
Oh my!
What a phenomenal finish for this young lady. Just perfectly stuck that final pass, pike double back.
Yeah.
Dee Bro was right in the corner as she landed, and she turned around and flashed a big grin at us.
Oh my goodness,
Look.
you know, the focus is to obviously have your chest up on the landings, but how about this, Kathy? This about is as good as it gets.
She gets those arms up and into the pike double back and just does not move those feet.
And Dee Dee is loving it. They have a lead of 1.1, and they got one of 6 routines in the bag, and boy, is LSU amazing on floor. Back to beam. Amelia Hunley did a very nice job. 9.85 to set them off, and Amanda Cheney up now.
Amanda had a near fall last meet, so she really wants to be very, very focused, calm, taking one element at a time. She's a little cautious on both those back handsprings. Nice to see the triple series, but just looked like it lacked a little bit of confidence from the setup.
Sophomore from Orlando, Florida. Club training at Orlando Metro Gymnastics. Sydney Ewing's score on floor in the lead-off spot, a 9.925 career high, so LSU pouring it on.
Aerial cartwheel to the full. Okay, she recovered well, but unfortunately that's a big deduction when you bend all the way at the hips and have to grab the beam. This is 2 back handsprings into the layout, step out. She does save it, but she's off from the very beginning. Did a pretty good job, but that grabbing the beam, that's a 0.4 of a point deduction, near fall.
And now, please welcome to the floor, Shea Zamardi.
Shea Zamardi, the senior from Vancouver, British Columbia. We saw her a week ago at Auburn, and she ran out of gas a little bit at the end of the routine. Let's see what she can do here. This is, Kathy, one of your favorite routines. It's lovely.
Well, it's so perfected in terms of her footwork, her toe point, every step. When her foot comes off the floor, she points. I would like to tell you she gets bonus for that. Unfortunately, she doesn't. But there are people out there that notice it and love it. Double back. She had a little bit of trouble even in the intra-squad with her tumbling. She was just a little off position to really land that with control.
LSU in control here. You know, in 2015, they ran the table. That was their first undefeated season in the SEC in 41 years of the program history, but they didn't give a regular season championship trophy. This is the first year of it, and LSU looks poised to take that trophy today.
As I watched them throughout the practice yesterday, the intra-squad, I could tell they're really paying very close attention to those details, really trying to fix every position, every step, every leap, every turn, and of course the landings.
Let's go down to Laura Rutledge.
Well, Bart, this Florida team's a team that we've seen a few times this year, and it's interesting, despite LSU's large lead, they're over here by the beam being themselves. They're staying loose, they're smiling, they're laughing, they're dancing, doing all the things that they usually do, and that's something that Jenny Rowland has really tried to enforce with this young team, especially in an environment like this. She wanted to see them respond this way, at least with their personalities, no matter what.
Grace McLaughlin coming up now. 9.625 was the score for Amanda Chaney. So their scores for Florida are 9.85 and 9.625.
Grace may not get connection bonus on that combination aerial walk over to the back handspring. You really have to connect those smoothly with no extra arms or changing the foot position between. See a little bit of nerves here from the team on beam, which I did not see early in the season. Even when they weren't perfect, I saw confidence and an aggressive approach. They were perhaps trying to be too perfect. This I see a little bit of nerve.
Florida's highly ranked on all the events, but they are 5th on beam. So they've shown just a bit of inconsistency compared to some of the other teams in the country.
Let's check out this leap. We get to see it from both angles. Lovely. She hits that double stag position, throws her head back, all while keeping her shoulders, hips, and center right over the beam.
Maya Hambrick set to go for LSU on the floor. The score in for Shea Zamardi, a 9.8.
This is such a fun routine. And you could really get caught up in the routine and forget really how difficult it is to have this much energy from start to finish. Not just with the dance, but new tumbling pass this season, double layout.
Nice.
That is as well as she has done that skill in competition that I've seen. She comes back with a super high 2.5 twist right here into a front and nails the landing.
I mentioned earlier she's from Temple, Georgia. When Jay Clark was coaching at Georgia, he watched her grow up through the club program in Georgia, kept an eye on her, and recruited her to LSU. Edie Bro says that I asked her about her leadership qualities, and she said she's actually a great first follower, and teams need young ladies like her who can take the energy of leaders and run with it, and that's what she does.
If you've noticed, she is trying to be absolutely perfect on all her landings, even on the leaps and the jumps. Very precise. Let's see if she can get this one. Oh, not quite on that one. She stayed in bounds. Oh, too bad. She had a perfect run of landings all the way to the last one, and it wasn't bad. She just took kind of a larger step into the lunge. The double layout, though, was really nice and controlled.
Rachel Gowie is set to go for Florida on the beam. Grace McLaughlin before her, a 9.775. Once again, Kathy, let's identify the beam requirements, the special requirements, as we see them in this routine.
She had a fall in the last meet, so she will be hyper-focused here. She opens with her dance series. It's a switch leap to a split jump, also hit that 180-degree split, and then goes right into her acro series, which is a triple series, 2 layouts in a row. Had that nailed, and then unfortunately just had a little check with the arms, nothing big,
Keep in mind what the judges are doing. Each of these requirements are worth 0.5 of a point. So she'll fulfill the requirement, but then the judge will also be taking an execution deduction.
A very slight one, but they're also earning bonus, and she went above and beyond on her acro series and in difficulty. Here was her full turn. All she has is the dismount. It's a C. Oh, and a big jump, unfortunately, after the landing. Really nice work on the balance beam, but there were a couple deductions. Now the judges don't get to look at it like we do here, but she does hit that beautiful split, and because she goes beyond the 180, that registers in the mind's eye of the judge. 2 layout step outs, much more difficult. She was completely off to the side. She had pulled it back on, but then had to do an arm correct.
Back to the floor for LSU. Maya Hambrick, a 9.925, so rewarded for her polish and all of her skills. Now it's Sarah Finnegan.
I am so happy to see this routine in the lineup. It is as beautiful as it gets. Just such great musicality. And she's got the tumbling 1.5 twist through to a 2.5 twist.
Beautiful.
Perfect form and control. Tuck back in the middle and a great landing there.
We talk about polish. I mean, here's a young lady who's pointing her toes throughout to double back somersault.
This is in her training when it is developed from the time they walk into the gym throughout their entire developmental career. It's just locked in, and it's not just a concentration, it's a strength.
Of course, she had an extensive career at the elite level, and so that's the type of training that these young ladies, who some of them spend as much as 40 hours a week as teens, training in gymnastics. That's the kind of polish that often comes out of that elite background.
Finishes with a pike double back. She got her arms up nicely,
beautiful.
So it worked beautifully.
Wow, gorgeous.
Excellent correction from yesterday's intra-squad. Awesome job. Fabulous routine.
Last year, she was all SEC.
Watch how she gets her arms off the floor fast out of her round up and back handspring. It really sets up these tumbling passes nicely. And here she really had to work. Arms, got them up nicely, landed with her chest up, and a very happy feeling.
9.925, her score just came in quickly. How about that? Beautiful, that's a career high for Sarah Finnegan. As we go back to beam, Alicia Boren up now. Rachel Gowie before her, a 9.775.
Alicia is so comfortable on this event. The front toss, she made it look easy. Goes right into her acro series. Whoop! Questioned it just a little bit before she attacked the landing.
So after Amelia Hundley got the 9.85 to lead off Florida, they have yet to break 9.8 since that first performance.
Notice how quickly she moves on the balance beam. Everything just moves from start to finish, in and out of the acrobatic elements and the dance. It's a very high level of difficulty within the routine. And then finishes with a high gainer full off the side.
Okay, McKenna Kelly is next, and there is her mom, Olympic champion Mary Lou Retton, and one of her other daughters, one of 4.
She almost has a full
Emma, who's
gymnastics
coming
team.
here, also on a scholarship in a few years. McKenna Kelly, the sophomore. We heard about this relationship. Let's see if Mary Lou can stay in her seat.
It's impossible. Well, they certainly don't need to be nervous here. They obviously wanted her to perform at her best ability. She can fly on these tumbling passes just like her mom. Double layout, and Mary Lou did it in the stands as well, got her chest up for her.
There you go. Mary Lou smiles. She's going to be fine.
Now she's going to come back with a really difficult middle pass. Full in,
Open
back
tuck.
out, open tuck.
Wow.
I know she made it look easy, but it is not, as you know.
All right, there's a little genetics going on there because that power and an open tuck full in is rare, and she did it in not in her opening tumbling pass. So incredible for the sophomore from Houston, Texas.
I think Mary Lou has Emma sitting on her lap so she won't stand up.
Stay in her seat.
Yes. See, I told you I could stay in my seat. And she finishes with a front through to a tuck double back. Mary Lou did that pass.
My.
And a great landing. Oh.
How about that?
Happy faces all the way around. Enjoy that, Mama.
What control on all of her landings today. That's as well as I've seen her perform that routine.
Well, she opened with a really sky-high double layout. And what she's worked so hard on is getting to control on these landings, even the most difficult tumbling passes. And took it all the way to the end, probably her best landing of all three.
There have been 3 9.925s in the floor lineup. And as Alex McMurtry takes to the beam for Florida, the score comes in for McKenna Kelly. It's a 9.9. Alicia Bourne had a 9.875.
Just like most of her events, Alex can be very, very clean, just nice leg form, very straight, very pointed toes. The audience really liked her skill down to the balance beam. When she circles underneath, it kind of catches you by surprise.
She had something of a hot and cold day, had a 10 on vault, and then struggled on bars, as we saw actually in the first rotation.
Finishes with just a gorgeous double twist. Yeah, she just has such nice technique, tight body, opens out with those arms out.
And we just got the final attendance figures, folks. 12,609 in the house today. It's the third largest crowd in LSU history. And they are thrilled because not only is LSU in charge, they're about to seal the deal on the first ever SEC regular season championship with a young lady who has already thrilled this audience many times before, Ashley Knapp. 4 times she has scored perfect 10s on this event. They already have 3 9.925s, a 9.9, and a 9.8.
And watch when she puts her head down and starts the run into this tumbling. She generates so much power. And from the time we first saw her in her freshman year, when she was a little out of control in terms of handling all the power she had, she has just bottled it up, maintained the power, but shows excellent control. High 2.5 twist to a front. And you can tell she really loves this choreography this year.
She started her day with a perfect 10 on the vault. Can she wrap up the day with a perfect 10 on the floor? Documented many times. Her mother, a 1972 Olympian, her dad, an All-American gymnast here at LSU.
Oh, nice high pipe double back that they're going to have to take off for that bounce on the end. Could not quite control that final landing.
Even Dee Bro says sometimes she just jumps out of her skin. It's nice to have extra power at the end.
Such a fun routine to watch, and knowing her parents are in the stands, enjoying every minute of her career, They said she's ready for her senior year and her career at LSU to come to a beautiful end, but they aren't ready.
All right, we're going to wait for the final score, but you see already LSU has a 198. That is their season high for the year, and we do not yet have the score in for Ashley Nutt. She gets a 995, so that pushes LSU to 198.15, and what a way to capture the regular season SEC championship. Dee Bro, in her 40th season, gets the coveted title. What a thrill today in Baton Rouge. Florida ends up with a 196.6, a disappointing performance for the Florida Gators, but they'll regroup and we'll see them in 2 weeks at the SEC Championships in Florida, and then a month later at the NCAA Championships in St. Louis, and we'll be there to cover it all. Kathy, what a thrill tonight.
This has been fantastic, and this is a team we've seen score over 197, high 197s all season long. Now over that 198 mark, they surpassed what they did yesterday, what they hoped they could do today. I'm sure they are thrilled.
LSU score is the third best in the NCAA this year. It's, of course, their season high. And for Florida, that 196.6 is actually the first time this year they've been under 197. So an unfortunate event for Florida. Let's listen in to the PA announcer.
Your Fighting Tigers are the 2017 SEC regular season champions with a final score 196.6 for the Gators, 198.150 for the Fighting Tigers.
We will be back with interviews and to wrap it up after this. Don't go away. For the LSU Tigers. Team is highest score in the nation this year for them, the highest on vault and floor for LSU, their third best score in the NCAA this year. And now they are SEC regular season champions. What an epic day here in the PMAC. Kathy Johnson-Clark, you saw them in training yesterday, so you could have predicted perhaps that they were going to look this polished and this focused.
Yes, there's a saying, the harder I work, the luckier I get. And they have worked very hard. This was earned. And they proved that what they believe, that the whole season matters in winning this SEC regular season championship. So we have a sky-high LSU. They've done exactly what they wanted to do. And I still think there's stuff in the tank for them.
And Laura Rutledge is with Dee Bro.
All right, thank you, Barton. Yeah, also with Ashley Nadd. Ashley, let's start with another perfect 10 for you. Now 8 in your career. How would you describe what was going through your mind as you went up to do that vault, knowing that you have had 10s before?
I think that I was just watching the lineup before me. We had so many girls in there, just being able to do their vaults so well, and it's such an honor to be able to anchor that event for us, but it's definitely just another honor for me, but especially to be able to contribute that to the team.
You are now the SEC regular season champions, the LSU Tigers. I know you have goals far beyond just this, but how would you describe what this feels like today?
It feels really crazy. I definitely don't think it's sunk in yet. These girls we've worked so hard, and we have so much heart and so much fight, and I think that was demonstrated tonight. We didn't have the perfect meet, but we had a great meet, and we put something together very great, and I think it says a lot about what's to come in the future.
All right, thank you, Ashley. Let's bring in Coach Bro right here. And Dee, a situation where you've been in this program for a long time, 40 years. You've seen a lot happen here. And then today, in front of a huge crowd, you win the SEC regular season championship. How would you describe it?
Well, it's surreal that it happened at home. And, you know, to have such a great village of people that work so hard to make our events successful and to make them special. I mean, there's no place like this. Our fans are so enthusiastic, and the kids feed off of that. And I was very gratified that our fans were very gracious to the visiting team as well. But what a great competition, what a great honor. But what this does, it gives the entire season meaning. So when you start your season, no matter who you're competing against, if it's in the conference, it counts, it matters.
There's so much more to come for this team. What else do you need them to do as you have now 2 weeks to prepare for the SEC championship?
Well, we need to do a little better job of controlling our emotions at the end of great routines and make a stick, not a stick and a you know, but they were just so emotional and so charged up. But they've done everything we've asked them to do. You know, you talk about a team being compliant, a team being pliable. But my staff is amazing. It's a consistent message. It's a staff that really enjoys being around each other. And this team, we love spending time with them. And our training center, everything that the university has done to uplift us, look what it's done.
This is the dragon season, by the way, because Dee called Kennedy Edney the fire-breathing dragon early on in the year. You guys adopted that, and a donor brought you a dragon T-shirt back from China that you were wearing earlier today. We have a photo of it. Dee, are you going to keep wearing that shirt? And I mean, how much credit do you think the shirt deserves?
I don't know. I may get the whole team shirts. One of our boosters gave it to us. They had a trip to China, and they didn't know what to do with the shirt. So I said, I'm going to give this to Dee when we started this dragon thing. And the kids really love the mantra and live by it. So
I think the shirt looks great on you, too, by the way.
Well, how about this outfit?
Yeah, this outfit, too, right? Thanks, Dee.
Thanks.
Bart.
Congratulations. Thank you, Laura. And Dee Bro, she has earned the right to be the SEC regular season champions with her team. The integrity of the regular season matters, Kathy, doesn't it?
It does, and I have to agree with Dee. She has a fabulous staff. She and Bob Moore already had a great thing going. One of the best moves she ever made was bringing Jay Clark in. They work so well together. They're all on the same page, and it runs like a well-oiled machine.
Hear, hear. Congratulations to LSU. That's it from Baton Rouge. Coming up next, SEC Now for Laura Rutledge, Kathy Johnson-Clark, and our entire crew. I'm Bart Connor. Now let's send you to the studio.